And that news came on top of this bombshell report in the Wall Street Journal this afternoon that a man named Allen Weisselberg has been subpoenaed by a federal grand jury in the Southern District of New York, the federal grand jury that is considering the criminal investigation into the president's longtime personal attorney, Michael Cohen. Now, the Michael Cohen case, big picture, it's still basically one big open question in terms of what kind of legal trouble might lie ahead for the president himself if his longtime attorney, Michael Cohen, who apparently taped his conversations with President Trump, among other things, whether he's ultimately criminally charged by federal prosecutors in New York. We still don't know if that's going to be an issue for the president himself. We still don't know how that is all going to play out. Everybody's watching that, of course, very closely. But with this guy, if Allen Weisselberg has been subpoenaed, if this report in the Wall Street Journal this afternoon is right, that honestly has way bigger implications than just the case against Michael Cohen. Allen Weisselberg is not a household name, but he is in the Trump household. He's in his 70s. He has worked for the Trump family his entire adult life. He started off working for the president's father, I believe, in the 1970s. He has been at the Trump Organization apparently since its inception. He's known to be not only a very trusted, very senior figure in the Trump Organization, he's also been directly involved in a number of financial dealings related to the president and his business that have since come under legal scrutiny. For example, Mr. Weisselberg is said to have been personally involved in the payments to women who allege that they had affairs with President Trump. According to the Wall Street Journal, Allen Weisselberg was also close enough to the president and his family that he was the one who handled their household expenditures. Personal expenditures and purchases for Mr. Trump and his family, including Mr. Trump's dealings with various banks. Mr. Weisselberg is the treasurer of the Donald J. Trump Foundation, which of course has just come under very aggressive legal scrutiny in New York State. Allen Weisselberg is such an important and senior figure in the president's business empire that when the president announced that he was handing off day-to-day control of his business, now that he's president, the common shorthand we use for that transaction is to say the president handed over control of his business to his two sons, Don Jr. and Eric. But actually, the group he handed over control of his business to is his two sons, Don Jr. and Eric, but also Allen Weisselberg. Allen Weisselberg is the linchpin of all Trump financial matters. Not incidentally, Mr. Weisselberg is also reported to have been personally responsible for preparing Donald Trump's tax returns for years. Oh, if he has now been subpoenaed by a federal grand jury in the Southern District of New York, that is potentially a very big deal. We know that the president has been particularly sensitive, even particularly emotional around investigators and even the press pushing too hard when it comes to his personal finances and the finances around his business. Allen Weisselberg has been subpoenaed before a federal grand jury in New York. That is the kind of thing that is likely to push the president's buttons.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.